So the situation with our yarn stash right now caused us to make a little bit of a mistake. Let me show you. Okay, so let's first go back in time a couple weeks. I took these clips of what the state of our yarn stash was at the time. We've got a bag here full of yarn and some whips. We've got totes full of yarn. Got some Hobie yarn here. And we've got some Bernat blanket yarn. You can see some of my finished projects below that. Here's the state of our room. Probably a few days after that, you can see things have kind of changed and moved around. We're always kind of moving things and trying to find things. So it's something that needs to be done here to get this all organized. Here's my poor temperature blanket that's been neglected, but underneath here you'll see more yarn. Again, here's some of our finished projects and our big dino who looks like how I feel at this point. Here is my office with some more yarn stashed there. And I have this IKEA dresser that I thought I could use to store my yarn. Actually, this left half is my yarn storage, so every drawer has some yarn, but it just wasn't big enough to hold the amount of yarn that we have. So here is our yarn organization to-do list. First, we need to gather up all the yarn. As I've shown, we have yarn in multiple places around the house. We need to sort and tidy up all the yarn. We need to clean up the room and clear out the yarn's new home. And the best part of this organization is I will be planning out future projects and showing you how I'm staying organized with the system. And then finally, we will organize the yarn in its new home. Okay, so let's start gathering up this yarn. So here is where our yarn stash is at the moment. They're just piled up in these 2 totes here. Really hard to find anything when you need it, and with both my daughter and I getting ready for a crochet market coming up here in the next few weeks, we've been trying to dig in here to get stuff that we're working on. She needed some more baby sand Bernat blanket for some capybaras, some really cute capybaras that she's making. So we bought some, only to realize that this was here already. It was actually deeper in the tote, but it was an unnecessary purchase. And we're trying really hard to keep our expenses down at the moment. We're just trying to use up the yarn that we already have, make as many things as we can with the yarn that we already have. So it was a little frustrating. So we really need to get this in order, and I have a plan. So we're going to go do that today. And then another part of the plan is to get this situation under control. This has kind of turned into a little storage area for us, unfortunately, and a TV, an old TV that we've been keeping, that my husband, I should say, is keeping for some reason. Comment below if you have a husband who likes to keep stuff like that. But we've got to get this stuff cleared out, and this area is my plan for the yarn. So we'll get this under control here today. Okay, so I think the next step is going to be getting some of this loose yarn that's kind of unwound itself, get that reorganized and rewound again, sort through the different types of yarn. I do have a few different types. I've got Bernat blanket mostly. We've got some acrylic yarn in here, and then I've got some baby snuggle yarn that I bought for some projects. So I'm going to get those organized into what I have planned for projects as well, so we can be as efficient as possible for this next craft show. Okay, so these 2 on the top are, of course, a project that I'm working on for my market, so I'll separate those. But mostly these 2 piles are our Bernat blanket. We do have one big twist in here, and obviously a bunch of mess there. This one I combined my baby snuggle and my acrylic yarn, since I have less of that. Those will be divided up when I get those organized. I do have one ball of this yarn bee, which is pretty similar, I found, to the baby snuggle, if anyone's interested. Okay, now we'll get this cleaned up. I'll probably just wind all of this stuff. I have some tags that I'm thinking I'm going to use to kind of label what they are, because we tend to forget what color and what brand we used on certain projects, so we'll try to mark those so we can stay organized with that. Oh my gosh, this is a big mess. I can't even find the end. Oh, here we go, maybe. Oh, this is Gonna take a little bit. Okay, some of this organizing has created a little bit of mess here, so I'll clean that up and then we'll start getting this area cleared out. Okay, so we got all that cleared out. My husband helped me move that TV, so that's gone, yay. And now we're gonna start clearing out some room here. So this is all mostly my daughter's stuff. So some of this might have to come back in here, but we'll get it cleared out and see what kind of room we have, and I'll show you what I picked up to try to organize my yarn. Okay, so I have everything piled up here. So most of my blanket yarn, I've got my other yarns back here, and a couple totes of everything I've crocheted so far for the market. There's a few other things out in another spot, but I'll actually do a video on everything that we're taking to the market and some of our market display stuff. So you'll see that coming soon. But I wanted to share with you what I'm hoping will work for this yarn organization. And it is these pretty inexpensive Walmart brand closet shelving systems. I bought 2 of them, so I'm hoping it's enough space. Also hoping, I have these plastic zippered bags that I think I've got off Amazon that I've used for traveling. And I'm thinking I can hot glue some of these to the sides and use them for crochet hooks and safety eyes and some of that extra stuff that you need for amigurumi. So I'm hoping that'll work. So let's take a look. Really strong. Okay. Feels pretty strong. I think we'll be good with that. Let's do the other one. The Velcro is extremely strong, so I don't think we'll have a problem with it staying up there. Okay, it's kind of hard to see this second one because it's behind part of the doors, but they feel pretty good. I think it's going to work for what we need. And like I said, I think if I put some of the bags on the sides, we'll probably make them here so my daughter can still have access. Is what those pouches all look like on the side. Just kind of kept checking to make sure they were glued down pretty good, so we'll see how they hold up with us reaching in and out of them all the time. But I think it worked out. Here's our 14mm eyes that we've been using more often lately. And here's a set of some smaller safety eyes that we don't use as often, but I'll just keep them in this case. Here's some keychains I've been using for my velvet keychain pattern from Cameron's Cute Creations. And here's my blue glitter eyes. I think I only have a couple more sets of those. Some ribbon, measuring tape, and my compression gloves. I had this little crochet hook, sizer, and gauge. And then here are some tension rings that I got off Amazon that I was thinking about reviewing for you guys. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. So I probably could use a couple more bags. So I have a couple more spaces up above. Show you here. So if I really needed to, I can add those. So I might have to do that. Okay, before I start putting these away, I want to kind of jot down what projects I'm going to make with them, because like I said earlier, I really want to get this yarn used up as much as I can for this next craft market. So maybe as I'm putting them away, I can decide what I want. Or I think I need to go through what I have and that way I can group them with the project that I plan to use them on. I think that's the best way to do it. Okay, so here's some of the piles I have. It was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. But this pile here, I'm going to make some ballerinas, so hair, skin, dress. This little lone gray one, I think I'm going to make a seal. I don't know if I have enough there to do that, but I have a pattern I've saved for that. And in this pile, I've actually already started trying to use this up. I had a lot of this yellow and these pretty little kind of pastel pinks and blues and this bubblegum pink. So I've been making some colorful bees with that, so I'm gonna keep making those. Let me go grab them. Okay, so they don't have wings yet, but I made these two last night, but I think they're pretty cute. I was following all from Jade pattern. She had more colors in hers, but I think my yarn is thicker, so it still worked out pretty well. So I'll keep making these. So that should use up that stack pretty well. And then these colors here, this is a Big Twist brand. Dusty Rose, it's really pretty. And then the Almond Bernat Blanket. And then Smoky Green Bernat Blanket. I'm gonna make turtles with these, so I'll make some with the pink shells and some with the green shells. These two back here, I had an idea for a pattern, so if I have time I will use these two colors. So I think this is coal and this is vintage white. So that's all I have set aside for now. I'm not quite sure what to use this for. It's the Golden Sparkle. I had bought it for a duck pattern, a custom order, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that again. But if you have any ideas, please share them in the comments of what I can use this for, because I have no idea right now. And then this is another vintage white, some more baby sand, and kind of some other random ones here, some more almond, so I can group this with this one in case I need more. I can't remember what this one was called, Misty Green maybe, but at this point I'm not sure. This one fell out. These two are extra, Bernat extras. This was left over from my big dino. I'll be bringing that to my market. So for now, I'm going to set these separately. Maybe I'll figure out what to do with them later. Now I want to go to these. Actually, this is, I can finish that elephant I found in my whip bag earlier. So I'll set this aside for that. I remember I was going to do Daisy. So let me find that pattern. So I did Sunflower. It's Emmy Creations pattern. I think that was the name of her store. So here's Sunflower. Let me take him out of the bag. Or Sunny the Sunflower, that was his name. He's really cute. So I need to figure out what yarn I need for her and see if I have the right amount. I know we need the green and white, and I think some of this color too. Okay, so yes, this is the colors I need for Daisy. So hopefully I have enough to do that. And then I bought this brown color for a pattern I was working on, and then I gave up on it because it wasn't coming out. So I did make a bear with this color, which turned out really cute. Let me grab that. So this is the bear. I'll link it. It's one I found on Instagram. So yeah, that turned out cute. So I don't know if I can, I'm sure I have enough to make more of these if I want. So maybe I'll set that aside for that. And then these, I don't remember what I was going to make. Let me think about what I can make with this. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to use the white and pinks for some mini dinos, and the grays, I'm going to use these for some cats. And then the mini dinos made me think that that other Bernat blanket yarns that I wasn't sure what to do with, I think I'm going to use those for some mini dinos too. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get these put in the shelves, kind of in their separate little piles. Okay, this is what it's looking like now after we're all done. I'll show you a little reminder of what things look like before. And here is what it's looking like now. Everything is off the floor, vacuumed. So over here now I have everything that's ready for the market pretty much. My finished projects in this bag and these totes. The craft supplies there, or craft market supplies. Another finished project that I'll share in my market prep video. And then here's my bag, my whip bag with some of the yarn that I need to finish those. And then some extra totes that we cleared out, so those will be helpful when we are getting ready to go to the market. And now here is the closet. So again, I'll remind you what that looked like before. Okay, here is what our closet looks like now. So I don't know if it looks organized to you, but it certainly is to me. So we have on the hanging shelving system are all the planned projects. So all the yarn that's planned for each one is ready to go. So we have our Christmas pattern that I'll share with you in the next video. Ballerinas, bees, these two are for turtles. This one is for a future pattern potentially. Here are for mini dinos, cats, a sunshine pattern. This one's for Daisy to go with Sunny the Sunflower, and the bear pattern, and some velvet yarn for some velvet keychains. This Cameron's Cute Creations pattern. I'll share those with you. If I mentioned a pattern in here, I'll share those in the comments below or in the description below. And then here is our extra Bernat blanket yarns that we don't have plans for at the moment. And this shelf has our cotton and acrylic, a couple other random yarns, Yarn Bee yarn, and I'm not quite sure what this one is. Actually, I'll probably make some keychains out of this too, so I'll shift this over to this one. And I'm not sure, this could be a dino color, so I'll move this over here to the dinos. And then some bag of just remnants and extra yarn. Actually, I see that one. That can be used for some keychains too, possibly. So here's the final yarn organization. Hopefully you found that helpful. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.